Today I would like to inform you about our top modern and comprehensive human resources consulting program. Human resources is, as you know, probably the most important discipline in the management of an organization. When it comes to culture, when it comes to performance, it's actually all about people. But who am I? Who is your consultant? My name is Stefano Offer. I'm a Swiss national. I'm 61, living now since 2017 in Dubai. I have been here the first time in 2002 already, and then frequently traveling to Dubai, to the Middle East from Europe. I'm still traveling quite a lot to Africa, where we have in the meantime, there's a lot of business development, there's a lot of management development ongoing in the continent for the next decades. And my working languages are obviously English and German, which is my native mother tongue, and as well French. My academic education starts in Bern as a foundation course in law and economy. That's where I learned actually all about contracts and labor law. And then in Berlin, foundation course in philosophy and political science. That was in a time when Berlin was still surrounded by communist countries in the early 80s. And I was focusing on politics and philosophy of the Eastern European communist countries around Berlin. And then back in Switzerland, later on, already on the job, I made my Master of Advanced Studies in Human Resources Management at the International Business School in Zurich. Then in my professional career, I was embarking to international human resources management assignments with British American Tobacco, where I was appointed to the position of a human resources manager Central Eastern Europe because of my education at Berlin University in actually exactly this region. And my position was actually quite interesting and exciting because it was directly after the fall of the Iron Curtain. That means all the Central Eastern European countries were post-communist environments. They had a completely different system in economy. We talk about the planning economy, the typical planned economy of the former communist state, and they had no idea about the free market economy. And my job was to build up and develop human resources departments in all over the region, means in Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, Bulgaria. In the former Yugoslavia, there was still a war. We were sitting in our regional headquarters in Zagreb, and the MiG planes were chasing one another above the building of the office. So it was an interesting, but sometimes even maybe dangerous time. But I learned a lot. After this, I was able to take a next career step to the position of already first time as a Chief Human Resources Officer with Mark Rich Group, which was a globally leading commodity trading company. It was a difficult time because they just were splitting. One of the new companies is today Glencore, the by far biggest commodity trading multinational in the world. But I was staying with Mark Rich, and it was actually all over the time. It was M&A and restructuring projects. So I was running from one reorganization project to the next, which was very, very interesting. I learned again a lot. But as a matter of fact, in the end, it was like a shrinking business, and it became too small to further advance in my career. That's why I then changed and happily accepted an offer from the Swatch Group, the largest manufacturer of watches and jewelry, Swiss multinational, with famous brands like Omega, the official timekeeper of the Olympic Games, like Longines, Tisserado, Breguet, the very high-end luxury brand, and then the fashion brands like Calvin Klein and of course Swatch. I was appointed to the position of a regional Chief Human Resources Officer, and I was responsible for about 20 countries all over the world on different continents. And the first time I was responsible for the Middle East as well. And as already said before, in 2002 I was the first time here in the region in Dubai in order to establish the Middle East business of the Swatch Group, which became an enormously successful business unit in the concern. We have several several environments where our help is very much appreciated and even needed, as for instance the governmental environment, talking about modernization of probably already older departments. We have emeritization as an important topic where it needs to be handed over to local people. These local people have to be consulted how to do the job and how to perform, that they can talk about the top modern human resources department. We talk about multinational companies. There are a lot of them here in the region. A typical environment there for consultancy is a post-merger and acquisition environment where you have to put two human resources departments together and of course then appropriate restructuring. And as well, for instance, for big companies who are establishing a new business unit here in the Middle East, that means to build up a regional human resources department, or last but not least, small to middle cap enterprises. For instance, those who don't have yet HR department, who need to establish one in a professional, modern way. Or, for instance, those who have already a human resources department, but the department needs to be reshaped to put it on a more professional level. Now, what are the subjects of consultancy typically? Where is our help most needed? We are offering, for instance, strategic HR management, very important, because here we talk about establishment and development, for instance, of a HR department. We talk about the business strategy alignment to the all-over business strategy of the company. We talk about organizational development, which organization fits best for the business. We talk about change management, whenever, for instance, you have a change of ownership or a change of business strategy or a change of business culture. And very important, we talk about HR policies and procedures, becoming more and more important in this world of globalization. That means how, for instance, to create an employee handbook, a code of conduct, policies about harassment and discrimination, email and internet use, a whistleblower policy, health and safety, and so on and so on. A next very important topic is HR controlling. To have a high-level, highly established controlling system in your environment makes you best friend of the CFO, because we're talking here about HR budgeting process, together with finance, of course. But we do as well evaluate the HR processes, the added value to the company of HR as a department, and we help to establish the most important HR KPIs, the key performance indicators, which allows you to install a cockpit where you can just in fine-tuning the different KPIs, keep your HR department on the track. Probably the most dynamic development we have experienced in the HR technology environment. What human resources information systems are able to deliver today is incredible. We can show you how to work with HR portals, how to establish very fruitful employee communication, and even how to work in virtual teams. And then coming back to planning and deployment of human resources, that's about strategic planning. That means to have the right human resources with the right skill set in the right time on the right place. Or like important procedures like job analysis, competency modeling, or the way how to create important tools like job descriptions or job specifications. And then, of course, the recruitment process, how to establish a professional recruitment service internally, and with the selection tools that you need to have, in the end, the best people on board. After this process, you hopefully have some talents on board as well. And one of the very important topics in human resources management is always the talent management. That's all about, first of all, to find the talents within your organization. And then, of course, how to retain and develop your talents. As you know, a personal career development is always the best loyalty program for high potentials. So we can install talent management programs in your organization. And we can strategically align training and development One other extremely important topic is the performance management, because you want your people to perform. You want your company to perform. You need to perform to survive in the market. To have an internal performance evaluation, to define the criteria, what is a good performance in your environment, to use professional procedures for the appraisal and then, of course, the development of your employees. One of the most wanted consultancy subjects is compensation and benefits. It already starts with establishing the right wage level for your organization. You have to be able to analyze wage surveys. You need to have effective job evaluation methods. And then the name of the game, of course, is then to establish a meaningful incentive compensation system. And then we can advise as well about executive compensation, the general use of fringe benefits, and employee benefit programs. Last but not least, employee relations. We can advise you how to measure the employee satisfaction or to evaluate the employee attitudes. You need an effective and fair grievance system. And then, of course, topics like workplace safety and employee health, which all belongs to employee relations. But how do we generally proceed if you hire us as consultants? First, we meet with your senior management. Together we do a deep and comprehensive gap analysis. And then together we discuss and decide on opportunities for improvement. And then we come on board in order to implement the agreed changes. We help you to go through the change management process, because all that obviously has impact of the roles of some people. And on the spot we train the people who are then responsible for instance, new roles in this new concept. And once we are gone, we still don't leave you alone. We offer you an aftercare service. Whenever something has to be cleared or even improved or repeated, we are here, we come back and we help until you have the best in class human resources concept that is available today.